Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the 2002 version of the Twilight Zone. This week we are watching Last Lap. Now this stars Greg Serrano, who I recognized, and I couldn't quite place him in. He's had a pretty long filmography. I had to sort of look through this a bit. But I recognized him from Legally Blonde, which was surprising. Clifford Collins Jr. also stars in this, and he was in Westworld, where I recognized him from. So it's cool to see these two on screen. They go in a car and they are racing down the racetrack, which is, cool and all. But they have no gear. There's no anti-flammable suits, no helmets. They do buckle in, but they're all alone. There's no safety people and it's wet. And yet they go racing. That's not smart. The skid out and crash you get to see twice. Well, not the crash itself, which is a bit of a shame. But I'm guessing they didn't want to go for that. But the skid out and stuff, that is slightly sped up. And you get to see it twice in this episode. The crash itself is off screen to save on the production budget, I would assume. But the point comes across anyway. He is in the hospital for one night because he gets mentioned that, did you see the race last night, or what were you doing last night? And that makes very little sense because even if he does not have terminal cancer, him recovering in one night from a car crash seems very far-fetched. When we see the two cars driving away, that mask effect, that's pretty. I like it. They've matched it up well. It looks great. They've done a good job here. Of course, being a corpse is difficult. We know this from long experience on the Twilight Zone, so the eyes are definitely moving. That happens sometimes. And the twist at the end, it's kind of poor. The whole grieving as accepting that you're dead sort of thing. It doesn't quite stick the landing. There are a few better versions of this. I think there's one in Tales from the Crypt. Maybe we should get into those too. Well, the grind, you know. And that's where this ends, with him just accepting that he's dead and his friend being the one grieving instead. Last week I said that we were going to tell our fortune, and I was wrong. The production order wasn't quite the same as the one I had listed. I apologize for that. So next week we're going to get our fortune told, and I look forward to seeing you then. Take care now.